Does the presidential election affect mortgage rates? Hi, my name is Nicole Black with the Living in Scottsdale channel and your Arizona realtor. And I want to do a deep dive in this conversation because there are a lot of conspiracy theories out there that this is how it's going to go for 2024, that our rates are going to be manipulated somehow and come down right before the election to make the housing market look like it's going back to good and everything's going to be amazing. I don't know. What do you think? Please comment below. I'd love to get in this conversation with you. For now, what we're going to do is we're going to do a deep dive into this, and we're going to look at history and see if this has this ever happened before, or does it happen like every time? I don't know. All right, so first, let's start off and understand what we mean by the Fed and mortgage rates, because a lot of people are always going, "Oh, the Feds are raising rates, crap, the interest rates are going to go up and all that stuff." But the Feds don't raise the mortgage interest rates. What they raise is the federal funds rate, and that is the rate at which the banks can borrow money. So it's their interest, not yours, theirs. But that trickles down to you. So if the Fed jacks up their rates and now it costs them more to borrow money from the Fed, it's going to cost you more money to borrow from them. So it's just a trickle down effect, basically. All right. So next, the Fed and the president, because I get a lot of people like, well, the Fed is an independent organization. They're not connected to the government at all. So why would they even happen? How could it affect a presidential election if the president has nothing to do with the Fed or the government doesn't? Well, it's a really weird situation. I mean, the Feds are, yes, they are a government agency, but they also have a private sector. So they're government, but private. Yeah, I know. And they get to run very, very independently, have a lot of freedom from the government. One way, though, that the government does play a role in the Fed is that the president actually appoints the board, the 7 board members. Now, the Senate does have to confirm, but the president does pick the 7 board members. They need to serve a 14-year term, and 2 people of the 7 are always overlapping where their renewal needs to come in to be appointed again, so that the next president and organization that comes in to the White House has an opportunity to choose 2 other people of their choice to be on the Fed. So that's kind of interesting. I know. All right, so let's look at the historical mortgage rate analysis. So like I said, we're going to look at history. What is history? Have this ever happened before? Could this conspiracy theory be right, or have some proof in the pudding from the past to show that it could happen in the future? So, because this could be our crystal ball. All right, so we can see the starting and end rates from the election cycle from 1972 to 2020. And if you look at it, here's your rate of effect change. And if you look at every year, I think the greatest effect change was a negative 8.88%. Those aren't that big. Those aren't huge swings at all in interest rates. So it's looking like if it were to actually happen and be, this conspiracy theory to come true, it wouldn't be because it's happened in the past. It's never happened before. No presidential election has been manipulated in a way because of interest rates the year of. So the odds are of next year them coming down because of manipulation of election, based on history, it's slim. On this, what do you think? Comment below and give your opinion on what you think is going to happen. Do you believe that it's just whatever your thoughts are? You share them. Let's get the conversation going and see what's going to happen, because so far the crystal ball tells me this isn't going to happen next year for that reason. Now, what is a reason why interest rates will change? Right here, as often repeated, rates fall when investors expect the economy to weaken, or when they expect less inflation or even deflation. So Jerome Powell, just to let you know, he's putting it out there every time. So when he speaks, and by the way, you can find his speeches and his conferences on YouTube every time that they happen, so you can watch them. You don't have to watch them in real time. You can watch them like a week later. They're on there. You can watch them. And when he has spoken, he's always been very direct, very clear in a way of, Either we still think more rate hikes are going to happen. We're hoping, they did say they hoped, I think last year by end of 2023 that they would start to come down, but he course corrected. And he goes, nope, that's not what we're thinking anymore. We're thinking we're definitely not bringing them down yet. There may be one more hike or so before the end of 2023. So he's telling us all the time what's happening. So if you're listening and watching the YouTubers and all that stuff, when rates are going to finally come down and blah, 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 listen to Jerome Powell. He's telling you, like, he's been really good about it. So when people kept saying they're coming down, end of Q, I'm like, he hasn't he keeps telling us no. So he did say, though, this last time, he's thinking that they may start to come down. He said May, I think the summer of 2024. So let's keep watching. Let's keep seeing. But that would be interesting because that's right before the election, right? So if inflation gets under control, then it's warranted. Right there. It's warranted that they could potentially do that because inflation is under control. But if it's not, they're not going to drop them probably for a presidential election. Do you think different? Comment below. Okay, so if you found this helpful, please like and subscribe because this is what we do. We have these conversations because we want to know what's going on in the housing market nationally here in Arizona to help you to try to be as much of a crystal ball for you as possible. We also do home tours, we do community tours, restaurants, map tours so you can see different areas of the city and understand where everything is at. And also, we're your boots on the ground. If there's anything you'd like to see, please just comment, contact. I always have my contact information down there, so it's always pinned. So you can text, email, call anytime. I'm always here for you. So I hope wherever you are in the world, whatever you're doing right now, you have an amazing day and take care, my friends.